83 Elissa Drive. I'm only staying on this for 1 mile, so I thought I'd go ahead and turn it on and give you an update. Sorry I'm adjusting the camera. I know you can see a little bit of the dash, but that way I'm not touching the phone. I've got my other phone plugged into the vent. The phone that I use for video plugged into the CD player, and I'm speeding. I better slow down. So what's this? Maybe a Wal-Mart distribution center. I've been seeing Wal-Mart trucks along my route, and I knew there had to be a distribution center around here somewhere. So there it is. Anyway, so I was talking about, what you're calling, what your ministry, and that your calling doesn't always have to be lifelong.
In half a mile, continue straight onto James Huff Road, Pipeline Line Road.
Another thing that I've done, through my spiritual life was I had an unofficial ministry called Moving Forward. It was to try to help people, our county.
Continue straight onto James Huff Road, Pipeline Line Road.
At the time, the poorest county in Florida. There was so much unemployment. There was, the things that go along with unemployment. The quality of life, and not you say it was the poorest county because of the income. There was people who had good jobs, and were surviving fine, but there was those others that weren't. And you can say, well, they need to get a job or this and that, they're on drugs, they're this. So quick to point the finger and blame when you don't know anything that's going on. I'm not saying my audience, but I hate it when people do that. Christ wasn't that way, and it's not so simple as getting a job. There is a lot more that goes to it than that. First of all, a person may not have transportation. They don't have the clothes. You have to have gas money. You need things like that. Okay, I'm going to light was red, so I'm turning. I'm going straight. So anyway, so I would do what I could to help. So
continue on James Huff Road for 1.5 miles.
People get their GEDs. So I would, I didn't know what I was doing really. I bought a couple GED books. Made some copies of some things. Had a young couple that come in and they had a lot of high school, but they'd never finished. And so we would just have a couple of hours a week, and we would just study together. I had my high school diploma, but anyway, I just provided them a place to come to, provided them with the books, whether I paid for them or maybe the church gave me some funds to buy them, and I just gave them the opportunity, and they took the next step to show up. I had the Lord bless me with my one good friend who used to be my boss. She had a consignment shop that was going out of business. She gave me a lot of clothes for the ministry, and then we had a soup kitchen in the county. She gave me clothes to give to people from the soup kitchen, and then another friend from the lady from the church. One of her friends owned like a consignment shop or a
in a quarter mile, turn right onto Gratis Road.
And I don't know, probably 7 or 8 ladies from the church went, and her friend had to go out of town, but she was closing the shop, and so we went in and had the closeout sale for her, and we packed up a shop, and she gave us a bunch of stuff. Clothing and shoes and stuff, and we
take the next right onto Gratis Road.
So, she let us each have something nice. So I took some dishes and a couple pairs of nice shoes, but the rest of it went to the clothing ministry. And so
continue on Gratis Road for 2 miles.
A yard sale to raise money for the ministries of the church to help people, and then a lot of it we would just go ahead and give away. And then the pastor had a couple cases of backpacks, and so we had a back to school clothing giveaway, and we had clothing for children and shoes, purses, we had stuff for adults, and so if the people in the community needed clothing, whether it was clothing to work in, clothing to wear to go to church, just because they couldn't afford to buy a pair of pants, here was some absolutely free, no questions asked. We didn't. It was a ministry of the church for the community, would go through the potatoes and sort them and throw out the bad ones, you know, so they didn't stink up the kitchen or anything. We put them on a table outside under the roof where the cars drove up, you know, for the handicap access. And then we would
Take the next
put
left onto
bags of
Johnstone
potatoes
Road.
out on the park. I mean, on the over where you could drive through, and we'd call the radio station or email the radio station. We'd say, hey, at this church, there's 20 bags of potatoes. Anybody who needs potatoes, come get them. There was an RV park with a lot of people who was kind of low income, and we'd go through there and we'd give them potatoes. And if they had $2, $3, they would pay us for them if they could afford to. And then we'd go to another young man who helped took care of his father. And it was a low-income apartment place. He would take the potatoes and give them to residents, and if they had a couple dollars, they'd give it. But if not, there was no obligation. They could take the potatoes. They'd have something to eat. As I can tell you, there was a time in our lives when my father had lost his truck driving job. He had 20 years safe driving, and he misjudged. There was a bridge that wasn't marked, and he hauled boats, and he scraped one of the boats on the bottom of the bridge. Lost his job, and we came on hard times. The economy wasn't good. My mother, my older brother, was out working trying to help. My dad was packing potatoes. We had potatoes to eat. Honey, we had potatoes for supper. We had potatoes for breakfast. We'd have French fries. We'd have fried potatoes. We'd have baked potatoes. Any way you can make potatoes, we had them. So potatoes can feed a family. Anyway, that's just some of the things. Whatever the Lord gives you, you can use for His glory. So just tell me about some of the things that the Lord has had you to do, ways that you were blessed by the Lord, ways that the Lord used your church and your ministries to bless the community, and maybe some spiritual blessings that you received, as a result of maybe some hard times that you went through. Okay, well, this is a